Welcome back, everyone, to Condone Yourself, where we're here to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. The latest episode is a comedy challenge. We have Kelly.
Hey, everybody.
We have newly birthday boy, OT.
What's up, people?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Joe. All right, so let's get into it. I really want to start when the girls get back into the workroom after Malaysia got sent home and really talk about, everyone congratulating Sasha about her 3 wins and Lux making the comment 3 maxi challenge wins. Just a little bit, Lucy. Love that. And caught it.
Yeah, Lux is not here for any of the mess. Okay.
No.
Lux is living the entire Lux fantasy, and if you don't get into it, she will yank you in like a Nightmare on Elm Street. Like,
well, she's endearing enough to yank you in, right?
Yeah.
And the thing I love, she was like, "I'm always gonna be first place up here."
Yeah,
she doesn't care.
She doesn't, and it's great because it's helping her excel. Right. Yeah. Like most people have an inner saboteur. She has an inner cheerleading squad, and more people need that.
The difference in Lucy's attitude is that she needs external validation.
Yes.
Right. And Lux is like, I don't care if I'm in the bottom. I'm number 1. It's like it doesn't matter.
Coincidentally, Lux has never been in the bottom, though.
Right. So Lux is the only person so far, knock on wood, because I love my daughter. She's the only person so far this season who has not had a bad moment. She has not had a bad moment this season.
Yeah,
that's incredible at this point, considering there were 16
40 inches.
Well,
that was a 40-inch wig. Stop that.
And for being such a young queen too.
Yeah, especially such a young queen who hasn't had a lot of actual like in-bar experience because of COVID, because of her age, to just come on the show and really excel at everything. It's giving me Gottmik. Remember when Gottmik came in and Gottmik was like, I don't know how to do that, and then excelled at it. And Gottmik was like, I've never done that before, and then excelled at it. Like, she's giving me very much a Gottmik moment, which is also sad because Gottmik was another queen who really only had one bad moment the entire season and still didn't win.
Yeah, and it's like similar to Gottmik. It's just like, I'll try anything. Like, bring it on. Like, I'll try it, and I'm gonna go full in and have a good time. And she's killing it.
Yeah. Well, Lux is now, I don't know if you saw like memes or whatever, but Lux has now beaten Bianca as the queen with the most competitions not landing in the bottom.
Oh, really?
So
because of the episodes.
Because the episode, Bianca was 10, and of course, never was in the bottom before she was crowned. And because there's more episodes and there are more queens, has now beat that with at least 11 right now, 11 or 12. Okay.
Yeah, which is insane considering who's left, right? Because the queens, we have Selena, who arguably should not have been in the bottom this week.
Couple times.
And we'll talk about that. But definitely this week she had no business in the bottom. You got Sasha, you got Anitra, you got Lucy. Like you got the strongest batch of queens right now. Yeah, for her to have not really floundered at anything is pretty amazing.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the other thing, speaking of Lux, that I love so much, which is again exactly what we said. She said what everybody was thinking was, "Where's the baby bump? Why weren't you pregnant?"
Yeah,
and she said, "It's like, why weren't you pregnant?" Period. Like, and Lucy, her answers were disgusting.
It was so weird that she took that like defensive stance that she took and just didn't go, you know what? For me, I thought that I was doing enough by pushing my belly out, but it wasn't. Like,
she can't do that. She cannot do it. Instead, she makes up lies, trying to be like, well, she wasn't showing. And it's like, yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
That's why she announced it.
That's what the announcement was.
Yeah, because you had to be like, well, I looked at the pictures because I didn't. And Lux was like, "You're wrong." It's just like then she just gaslights people.
Well, and she was like, I wanted to serve Beyonce body yada yada. And I was like, well, then choose a different look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you weren't really serving that because your outfit was misfitting.
Girl, it got booted.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And honestly, that is probably a big factor on why she didn't even win.
It was terrible. I mean, we fought about this last week. I told you all I hated that outfit.
Me too.
And so, yeah.
And then to have the audacity to tell Lux that she's disrespecting Beyonce, it's just I can't with her.
I think you said it best, Kelly. Like there's the Lux version of arrogant. No, there's a Lux version of confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's all internal. And then there is this arrogance or this conceit that Lucy has that requires external validation.
Oh yeah.
And I think that that's the part that is so problematic. But for me, it's still not as bad as what I saw with Acid. Oh, Acid. Wow. Nope. With Diabetes last season.
Oh.
Like Diabetes was so mean. And that's why I didn't like Diabetes. Like I'm not a fan of Lucy, but I don't dislike her. I disliked Diabetes last season for a while because she was mean, right? I think Lucy is just seriously delusional. Like it's for real with her. I don't think she realizes where she is off the mark. But Diabetes,
I'm on the opposite of that. I at least understand where Diabetes' anger came from. Lucy, I don't understand. She's doing well. You know, she can just sit in the pocket with Sasha Colby and be just fine. Nobody's getting to me. I'm fine. But she's not. I dislike her and whatever her perception is. Diabetes, at least you understood why she was angry.
She can't take any honesty or any constructive criticism or any that's not a good trait to have, you know. And then she just turns everything around to make it sound like she never did anything wrong or said anything wrong or wore anything wrong or like she's Anyway.
Okay.
So I'm loving these extended episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why did they wait until we only have 7 queens?
Or had to wait for that stupid show to end.
But we didn't want to see some of these queens anyways. Like, could you imagine like the Robin Fierces and the I can't. That's all I can remember. And the other girls,
Princess Poppy, Amethyst. We liked Amethyst. Don't do that to Amethyst. We liked Amethyst.
I liked Amethyst, but could you imagine them doing the Harlem Vogue Ball?
I loved the Vogue Ball so much. And again, we got it's long. We got full on many seconds of each queen. What a relief.
I mean, they saved the best ones for last. Sasha, Mistress took a comedic turn.
Yeah.
And then Anitra, damn. Just damn.
Anitra can dance.
Of course.
That was really, really fun. And anything else about that? Because Anitra won. And that meant she got to pick the lineup, which is usually pretty important for these comedy because it can be hard to go first.
I think when Joe always talks about winning a challenge and getting to pick certain things is not really a prize. It's not really a win. I agree with him, except for the comedy challenge, because placement in the comedy challenge means everything. It means everything, especially if you are not a naturally funny queen, right? Like if you're unsure of your funniness,
which is everyone this season.
Yeah.
So
that was true.
It's okay.
I can't remember them
except for Lucy. Lucy thinks she's funny, but we all know she's middle of the road.
I know we've done other, there's been a lot of comedy challenges and roasts and stuff, but I don't ever remember them doing a duo where they had to.
No, the closest thing I can remember is when they did the awards and they had to be presenters for awards and stuff like that. And I even think they probably did that more in Canada than here. I don't know if I love the outline of this challenge just because we didn't really get any great outtakes.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of the queens left doing this.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like the comedy duo thing because it forces you to rely on someone else to help you be funny.
Yeah.
And for some people that worked, and then for some people it really got in the way.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how different this challenge looks if everyone is up there on their own. I didn't think Sasha deserved her critiques. I didn't think Mistress deserved her critiques. But I think if Sasha would have been alone, where she started to notice that things were not going her way, she would have made that turn a lot faster. Yeah. And I think she would have ended up being probably a lot better. But they critiqued her as if she was funny the whole way through, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, so they paired off using bubbly seltzer, brought to you by.
If I am over this bubbly like product integration.
Yeah, what happened to the House of Cocktail or House of Love cocktails? So Lucy and Lux are partnered, and then Anitra and Sasha, and then it was gonna be
Mistress and Marsha,
but then Selena was solo and got to decide: do I stay by myself or do I pick a partner? And she decided to pick a partner, and so she took Mistress, leaving Marsha all by herself.
I think
what
would
you have done?
I think that was a mistake. I would have stayed alone.
Same.
I would stay alone. Like Selena is funny. And Selena's like the judges love her personality. And this was a moment for her to stand on her own and shine by herself.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep.
And she opted out of it.
The thing about going solo is it's hard, sure, but you get to control everything.
Yeah, like you're in the bottom 3 times already. I was like, girl, you ain't got nothing to lose.
Right. And anything from like the workroom, I mean, they all had to go up and like practice in front of Michelle and Ali Wong. And
can we talk about how cute Ali Wong is?
She's so cute.
What? Yeah. Like I heard of her, but I didn't really like. I couldn't place her from one person or another. She's gorgeous. Yep. She's so cute.
I like her. She has a film on Netflix called "Always Be My Maybe."
Yeah, it's good.
It's really cute.
Her stand-up is great.
I do want to appreciate, Lux and Lucy had a disagreement, but when it came down to work together, they worked together. Like that's professionalism, and
they both want to win.
Yeah, they both want to win, and that's I like that. I appreciate that, and I can say that to both of them.
And I also appreciated that they played on the thing that was obvious, right? They went for the obvious joke. The obvious joke is we don't really get along, right? So let's just make our comedy sketch about how we don't get along, right? Because so many other people would have been like, oh no, let's be super nice to each other, or let's play it like, no, let's just get all these insults out right now. And I thought that was really smart, because so often we see RuPaul come in the workroom and say to people, do the obvious thing. Do the obvious thing. And
keep it simple.
Yeah, people don't do that. But they were really smart in doing the obvious thing.
Mm-hmm.
I say we just get into it, unless I didn't have anything noted from really this week in the workroom or anything. Should we go through the looks and then talk about their comedy as we go through?
Sounds good.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pretty much in the same order anyways.
Yeah, I think they did come out in the order that the groups were.
Starting with Marsha. Oh, well, Mother Rue. So.
I loved this outfit from Rue. I thought it was stunning. I love the earrings. She just looks so good.
She like a Barbie doll the way you caught her.
She does. The arms bent like
it looks like a toy. I love when she wears short stuff that shows off those stems, because those legs just go on. Yeah. And I was feeling this look. I love the hair. I love the earrings. Yeah, it was all, it's a toot. Yeah, I condone this look.
Yeah.
And this is a recycling dress, right? It was recycled.
It was? Did she say that?
Well, it's got like bottle tabs,
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
even
okay.
notice that
I
part.
did not
right?
notice
Am
that
I
either.
wrong? Hold on
It
now.
I could see that. I didn't
Yeah,
see
it looked like a whole bunch of bottle tabs.
Oh, okay. I knew it was something that moved, but I didn't catch that it was bottle tabs. Good for you,
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
you
Look,
think
I'm the only
sometimes
one
I get
without glasses.
my fashion moments, my
Yeah.
fashion eye.
I'm the
reduce,
only one
reuse,
without
Rihanna.
glasses, and I still couldn't see it.
Okay. And then first up in a comedy and on the runway, we had
It's
Marsha.
Lucy LaDuca.
What?
Marsha opened the show.
Yeah, but isn't that Lucy?
That's Marsha.
Oh.
Stop it.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Stop it. I
I
got
get
it.
it.
That's why
I
I
get
said
it now.
stop it.
Poor
Stop it.
Marsha.
Yeah.
So Marsha, let's start with the comedy first. It's a tough ask to go first and be by yourself. And she's not a comedy queen. I thought, like, even though the jokes really didn't like hit, she did better than I was thinking she would do. I will say that. I think that years of being in the theater and being on stage helped her at least to seem, I don't know, relatable, relaxed. But the jokes weren't fantastic.
So for me, it's the exact opposite. I actually thought her jokes were funny. I thought that she did not give them an opportunity to land because
Mm,
she was so nervous and she was moving so fast that the audience could not the audience couldn't get comfortable because she was uncomfortable. And
I see.
because she was uncomfortable, she was moving through her jokes so rapidly, it didn't give you an opportunity to go, oh yeah, that's funny, because a lot of her humor was a little highbrow, right? It was a little smart, and but I thought her jokes were funny, but they were just happening so rapidly, and she was so nervous that it made it hard to laugh because you were so uncomfortable because she was so uncomfortable. That's what I took away.
I didn't think she was funny. She did fine. Not memorable at all.
No.
This whole challenge and this look was problematic, highly problematic.
Yeah. Are we moving into the look?
Sure.
Okay,
I
let's go.
thought we were already there.
Yeah, no, we can.
No.
It's a good segue.
Well, her little commentary when she's walking, she's like, "This is drag, mama." I was like, "Where?"
It's crazy that I cannot wait for her to watch this show back 5 years from now when she is on All Stars and she has it all the way together and see how far she's come, because you could see the progression even throughout the episodes. And so if she continues on the trajectory that she's on right now, I think in 5 years she is going to be like a contender for All Stars, like one of the people who you will look out for being in the top. But yeah, this is not it right now, boo. Like it's just not it.
Yeah, but you're right. She's one of those queens that it's clear that she's on the right path, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you can see flashes of some really, really amazing stuff in there, and that she has it in her to get there. It's just not there right now.
Yeah, it's really just, oddly enough, it's really just the transformation. I won't use the word drag because Joe drugged me for that last week. It's just her transformation. Like, her talent is there.
Absolutely.
You have all the talents. It's
Right.
it's just the transformation needs a little elevation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not a little elevation, a lot of elevation.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of
You know, it's funny though. She looks her best, her Marsha best, I'll say, when she leans on the camp side. So, like the makeup isn't like terrible.
Yeah.
But now it's like everything else.
Yeah. And the fact, like you made the joke about Joe, that it was really similar to something Lucy already wore, which Michelle clocked her on,
Yeah. Like be a crafty queen. Like she can sew.
Mm-hmm.
She could do something else.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lucy, so next up in the comedy challenge was Lucy and Lux as a duo.
Yes. I loved this look. I loved it. When she came out, I gasped. I immediately got it. I thought it was
too.
fantastic. The color, the patterns, the cape, the hair, like it all just worked. It all just worked. And I wanted it not to, because I had a sneaking suspicion that if her garment was proper, that she was going to be the winner, and I didn't want her to win. I wanted Lux to win. But this was fabulous. It was everything. I love this look. I won't give it a fan because it's Lucy, but I love it.
Joe, you hate it?
Yeah, that's it. Nothing said. It's just now. Okay, I'll say this. I don't know, like Lucy's drag aesthetic, I am so confused on. I'm so confused. I have no idea what type of like drag queen she is, at least from a look standpoint. And honestly, I really don't care. This is just random shit she put together, in my opinion. I really don't care for it. What was the thing? It was shredded.
Yes.
It was Ripper to Shreds.
Ripper to Shreds. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in between you two. I didn't think it was like awful, but it didn't really do anything for me. And similar to Daya and other queens, like once I dislike you though, sometimes I'm just like meh all around.
Right.
But yeah, when you turn the corner, I wasn't like, whoa. I would say it was like a B. I don't know. I'm just in the middle. And then for the
comedy challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I thought they did good. I mean, like we said before, Lucy and Lux both were just like, it doesn't matter if we had disagreements or arguing, like we want to win. So we'll come up with something good. And I thought of everybody, they had the like best back and forth kind of, even though it was like camped up, like how white is it?
It was very Abbott and Costello.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But not as good.
Everybody loves a good making fun of white people joke. And so to just have several of those is like, that's good. It's a good path to go down because it's always usually funny. And like when Lux was like, I know that's white. Like it's just so stupid, but everybody's going to get you're going to get a chuckle out of that. So
it's a sort of yuck comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't cerebral like Marsha's comedy.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't slapstick like what we got from Selena, right?
Yeah.
It was somewhere in between.
I will say it started like the whole thing about the teeth whitening, and I guess that's where it was getting to the white jokes about here's what you do to whiten your teeth. You could have taken that all out. That didn't really, and find a different way to set up the white stuff because none of that landed for me. So it started a little like this. I don't, I'm not laughing. I guess the audience was a little bit, but then they got their rhythm with the white jokes.
Yeah, I'll agree. When it started, I was a little confused, especially like you said, when Lucy sort of kind of leaned into the teeth whitening thing, and I was trying to figure out where it was going, and then it didn't go anywhere until Lux interjected. I guess that was the whole point, was to set like she was setting up Lux to have a joke. I will also say that I thought this was very lopsided, and that is another reason why I believe that Lucy wrote a lot of this, because a lot of the better punchlines were on Lucy's side. It was sort of like Lux was an afterthought.
I agree with that.
But for me, Lux had the better stage presence.
Oh, absolutely.
And like rhythm.
Yeah.
And because I mean, it's just like a lot of other Lucy's, like Lucy, just there's something about her that is very like, do this, and this. It's like very rigid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell that she's like, I've got to get it right. I'm going to get this joke,
Well, she's a construction worker, right? So her whole life is about precision. Like if she screws up, like people die. So I understand where that comes from.
Right.
That makes sense. I think Lux is the person who relaxed the audience and let them be able to laugh.
Yes.
right? Even though Lucy had the better jokes, like Lux was inviting them in because Lux kept turning to the audience. Lux kept, looking at the judges, where Lucy was really mostly looking at Lux.
Right. And I think if Lucy comes out there solo and just makes all of those white jokes, it's not as funny for some reason,
Not at all. Joe doesn't care about any of this about Lucy.
No, I agree, but can we move to Lux?
Yes.
Thank you.
Get that pic off the screen.
God dang, that pic is ugly. All right, so Lux. Lux looks amazing. I had no idea Ru was a part of a band in the 80s. Had no idea.
She's talked about it on several mini seasons.
But if someone said the
RuPaul,
whatever, I would not think a band in the 80s.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I must have missed that too.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, do you remember we're 14 and you are 15.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You guys are only 14. That's true.
So so I really like this nod. This again just celebrates the fact that Lux has done her homework and is executing it in a fresh way. And I love this look.
I did not love this look. I thought it was fantastic.
Wait, you like Lucy's, but you don't like this one?
I loved Lucy's look. I really liked this look at the end. And that's why I can't say I loved it. Because when she walked out, it didn't look like anything was shredded. It just looked like she had on like feathers or layers. Huh?
The sleeves are shredded.
I know, but it didn't look that way to me when she was walking down the runway. It looked like she had feathers on or like a layered garment. I didn't see shredded until she got to the edge and started shaking. And I was like, oh, okay, now I see it. But it didn't resonate as soon as she turned the corner for me. And that's why I really like it, but I didn't love it. I thought she looked fantastic. The makeup is all of it. I love the hair, but the outfit didn't immediately scream shredded to me. And so that's why I just like it and I don't love it.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so badass. I was all about it from the time she turned the corner.
Agreed.
And her personality on the runway is fantastic.
Yes.
And like Joe said, and like we've said in other episodes, just I love that she loves this history of this show, of like the other queens that have come before, of Ru, of all of it. Like she's genuinely like loves it, and it shows through in like the things that she chooses. And this was a super smart choice, completely deserving of like the win. And if they did individual wins, I think I would have liked Lux to win.
Yeah, same.
Before I knew that before they picked double win, I thought maybe Lux would win.
I was hoping Lux would win, but I definitely thought it was going to be Lucy if they were only single wins. But I'm glad that it worked out the way it did.
Okay. And then the next pairing up was Sasha and Anitra. And this was a struggle. This was a struggle bus.
It was. I want to start with the fashion here. Somebody did this. Oh, I remember who did this. Evie Oddly did the jean look before.
Like a ripped up jeans?
Yeah, it was. She did a jean look, and I believe it was also on the makeover challenge where she did it because she made an outfit for her drag sister. And it was gorgeous, but of course, Sasha always takes it to the next level of sexy because that body, right?
Yeah.
But I was kind of on the fence about this. Like, she looks great because it's Sasha. She has that great body. She's beautiful, but I just thought the outfit was lacking something. I don't know what though. I can't point to what it's lacking, but I just felt like it needed something else. Like, it's great, but I can't figure it out. It just needed something else. I can't figure it out though.
It just reminds me of like every music video from the mid 90s. I'm with you. It's like compared to, and then you compare it to other Sasha looks. It wasn't like jaw dropping. I mean, I like it. Maybe the bottom is too busy a little bit or something. It's like there's something I'm with you, OT, on that. but I mean, I think she looked fantastic, but it's going to be hard for her not to look fantastic.
Right.
What did you think?
This was my favorite shredded look.
I
I thought she got the assignment.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very, like, she was the only one, well, except for Anitra, who we'll see, who was like looked shredded head to toe, like in the like, you know, head area and stuff. And I think with the way the jewels or the stones were like dropping, it made it look shredded even more. Like it was like sparkly, like strings from the jeans.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a really cool look. Yes, we've seen jean looks before, absolutely. But for this category, and of course, the way Sasha just embodies everything she wears down the runway, this was absolutely amazing. Rip her to shreds. I was like, someone ripped her to shreds. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, great. I agree that she nailed the assignment. It's just there's something off about this outfit, and I can't figure out what my brain wants.
Maybe it's the wig.
I don't know, but my brain wants something.
Yeah,
else,
nothing.
And I don't know what it is.
Nothing's wrong. Your brain is wrong.
Our eyes. We need to get our eyes checked. And then, you know, we briefly mentioned this earlier about the comedy. I do think Sasha is seasoned enough and smart enough where she could read the room and think this is not going well.
Yeah. Well, she did. She saved herself at the end.
Yeah.
Like that ship was going down. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Anitra, but I am Kate and you are Jack, and one of us ain't gonna make it."
Yeah.
So
Rose.
I could call her Kate Winslet.
Yeah, but you called him Jack instead of Leo.
Everybody knew who it was. Joe.
Everybody gets.
Well, you meant to say Rose. Just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, she did exactly what Mistress threatened to do to Selena. And said, she's like, let me tell you about these jokes I got. Okay.
It was smart. It was smart. She got off. She saw that ship was sinking, and she got herself in a lifeboat, and she swam safely to shore.
What I thought was interesting about this pairing is the content that they came on the runway with wasn't at all anything that they did. I mean, I know they were like, there was the focus on the migraines in the practice, which was not going to land, but it seemed like this maybe wasn't a fully fledged idea. You know, they were like, yeah. Like, but I mean, you could kind of make stoners funny. I mean, Cheech and Chong have made a whole career out of making stoners funny,
for 50 years.
Yeah, but it did not work for them.
Well, they scrapped all headache stuff because it was so bad.
Right.
So they had to start anew, essentially, at least to work in Anitra's bit. And honestly, people are less successful when they try to be like, oh, I'm drunk, or oh, I'm so high, I can't be here right now, because it puts them in a box and they have nowhere to go because they're too high or too drunk to go anywhere.
Yeah, and that's like we were saying before, keep it simple. Make fun of the judges, make fun of each other, you know, like just don't overthink it too much. Yeah, this was, except for when Sasha saved it at the end, this was rough to watch.
Yeah, this was terrible.
Sasha's joke was the funniest joke of the whole thing, though. In my opinion.
Balls one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the funniest one. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
Regardless, better than Lux and Lucy.
Yeah.
Better than anything Marcia did. Better than anything Selena and Mistress did. That was the hands down funniest joke.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree.
This is one example of if they had gone solo, Sasha does much better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think Sasha ends up in the top because I think like the way we saw her pivot and turn on a dime, I think she reads that room and goes, "Okay, this isn't working. What's next?"
Yeah.
And they had the disadvantage of not really having any proper brainstorming time in the workroom because Anitra had to leave. You know,
right?
Yeah. So it's kind of stacked against them, but I'm glad that she at least like pulled it out a little bit in the end. Okay, let's talk about Anitra. We'll talk about her look first.
Loved it.
Very good.
Loved it. Here's the deal. Anitra gives me the same silhouette every week.
She loves a
right?
pantsuit.
She loves this silhouette, but she does it so well.
know,
It's
and
like
I'm here
Bianca
for
Del
it.
Rio. Yeah, it's like Bianca Del Rio. She gave us the exact same dress the whole series, right? But it just worked. And when it's right, it's right. And this is just, it's so right. It's so right. It's so right. It's so right. It's so right.
The makeup,
Okay, is it right?
It's so right.
the makeup, the wig, like it just, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the only thing is I wish the hair was messier or something, but she looks great.
She knows her body. She knows what she does well, and their looks are different, but they have a very common thread.
Yeah, it's that sort of, like you said, you kind of know what is coming, but not exactly what's coming. And the fact that, again, she makes her outfits, so that there's something to be said about, being able to step on that runway every time and say, I made that, though. Right. That's why it fit my body the way it does. That's why I know the silhouette, because I made it. And this color palette is delicious on her.
Because usually every season there is a queen that like I get like emotionally attached to, where I'm just like, I just love them, where you're just like, and I think Anitra has become that for me in these last few episodes.
Yes.
Her backstory, like to her personality, her drag, like all of it. I just am rooting for Anitra. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this goes back to like the beginning of the season for me, where I said I wasn't feeling Anitra because she wasn't letting us in. But now that she has, it's exactly that for me too, Kelly. Like she is, I don't know. Selena is still up there for me. Like I have this real deep emotional connection to Selena. But Anitra, like the more she lets you in, the more endearing she becomes, the more you fall in love with her. Like that vulnerability that she has, that humility, and like you can just tell she's just overflowing with love, and it just makes her really, really lovable.
Yep. Yep. Okay, and then the last pair, speaking of Selena, the last pairing was Selena and Mistress. Yeah, let's get into the look first, Joe. It sounds like you have some things to say.
His face is saying everything.
I love the story behind it, and I love that she stands by it regardless because of the story. But this was not great. It was clunky versus shredded, in my opinion. That necklace thing was too much. I think she should have just taken that off, and it probably would have been a little bit more palatable. And then the hair, I had no idea the reason for that hair. I think it could have been put on something else, but not this look. I don't know what it is. That hair just really, really bothers me. It looks like a bush that needs to be whacked. Sorry, Selena. I love you, girl. But
Joe has defended some of your worst fashions.
Yeah.
So he is allowed to say this about you.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it's like somewhat like what I love about Selena is like sometimes her looks are not fashionable, but they're entertaining. There's like, ooh, this is fun. This right here is not fun, and I don't think it was meant to be because of the story behind it, but it's ugly.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do a deep message, which queens have a lot on the show, which is amazing. There's a lot of like things to stand up for and speak out on, and if you're gonna do something like that, then it's gotta like the fashion's gotta be like good, right? Because then it's not like camp, it's not silly, it's not like flamboyant drag or whatever. And it's just similar to other Selena looks where it's just kind of messy. There are elements that like I think it was Ali said, just if it would have been made out of the blanket, right? Or there's just things where you're like, if it was this, if it was that, if she just did this, which is just her fashion is not there. But I absolutely love that she got to like tell the story. I don't, and this wasn't one that we've talked about much on Drag Race. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, I love the message, and I didn't immediately get the message when I saw it, but I appreciate the message. I just wish she would have been more literal, right?
Yep.
we saw Simone put on the back of her clothes, stop shooting us, or we've seen people, we've seen Sasha do it, we've seen Trinity the Tuck do it. Like, just write the words, right? Just write "America is a land of immigrants" on the back of your dress, right? So that we get it, and you really punch that message in, right? Because if the point was to give us that message, just really give it to people. Don't think that people are smart enough to figure it out. Just give it to them. And that's it. I can't say anything different about the dress than you all have said about the dress. I'll speak on the message, and I thought the message would have been stronger if she just would have tell people. Just tell them.
Well, the last thing I'll say is that if you just go by like her ideas alone, I think she has strong ideas.
Yeah.
Like when she's brainstorming about like what she wants to wear, what kind of she wants to put together or whatnot. And so if she had a partner that could like make those ideas, execute the ideas, right, and kind of be able to, brainstorm with, I think she would be unstoppable. She'd be incredible because I love her ideas. It's just the execution is off.
Yeah, the execution is executed.
And I think of all the queens in the comedy challenge, she took the notes the best from Ali and Michelle, because I was worried about her. That practice run was rough because she just kept going and going and going. It wasn't really going anywhere.
Right.
But she made it more punchy, more approachable. I loved hers.
I thought she did fantastic.
Mistress
I thought she did the best.
Yeah, I thought Mistress was the weak link in that duo for sure.
Oh yeah, I thought
places.
I thought Mistress
exactly
was a mess. What did you say, Joe?
I said they swapped places.
Yeah. I thought Mistress was a whole mess. I was like, where is this story going? Where are the
jokes?
Yeah, Selena killed it, and Mistress executed it.
Yeah. I agree, I guess, with who was in the bottom, but Mistress very easily could have been in the bottom.
I disagree with who was in the bottom.
Yeah.
I absolutely thought Mistress should have been in the bottom.
Oh, I don't think it was that bad. Where because it was a duo, where Mistress did bad, Selena did really well. So I think they kind of like muted each other, unfortunately, because I think Selena should have been in the top if it was like individually based, because I thought her story was a lot more funny. I was following along with that a little bit better. And when she said, what did she say? She was like, "Oh, of course you can't get pregnant twice."
Yeah.
I could listen to this story all day.
Yeah.
Whereas the white jokes heard them before, nothing new, would have gotten old. I really enjoyed this story and the way she told it. But then Mistress came in, and while she helped set Selena up a little bit, when her story came, it just fell flat. But I just think they muted each other.
And it's interesting because, coming off of that 50-50 challenge, right? Where Mistress missed. And again, in a challenge, I expected her to excel. Like, given her personality, given kind of how quick she is in the workroom, how funny we know she can be, it's like, okay, this challenge is built for you, right? And she brought nothing. Go ahead.
It just goes to show, like, you're using Drag Race words, like that inner saboteur is there. And even in people who are strong and doing well. And I think Mistress's big problem is that's the one thing that she's dishonest about. That's where Mistress flounders in the thing we love about Mistress is her brazen honesty, but she's not honest about being afraid of parts of this competition. And I think that's why she can't excel, because she won't ask for help. She won't say, this is not something I'm good at, right? I'm nervous about this. She puts on a brave face and she just goes after it without asking for help. And I guess a lot of that maybe comes from a lot of the past that we've heard her talk about.
Yeah.
Right. She's never really had anyone to lean on.
So do everything on her own.
Yeah. So she's doing it on her own. But I think that's where it comes from. Like, I think she's just in her head about certain things, but she's not able to be honest about, like, I'm not good at this or I'm afraid of this.
Yeah, she needs to be.
I think they executed this wrong. I think they leaned more into.
Can we switch to Mistress's outfit?
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Joe. Continue.
I think they leaned more into what Selena wanted to do with like a story, where I think Mistress would have shined more if she went more into like a roasting scenario.
That part,
you know, like if they were like kikiing it and talking about, you know, other people, talking about the judges panel or something like that. I think that would have been more where she shined. And I mean, that's it. I think Mistress is funny, but Mistress, she should have set herself up better with this challenge versus telling the story.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Joe. I think they made a poor choice. Because stories, it's gotta be like spot on. If you're taking your whole time on one joke or one set of jokes, like it really has to hit. But with like short, punchy ones, we've already forgotten the last one. If that next one makes us laugh, we're moving on, right?
But I think there was a way to do both, right?
Yeah.
The way that Joe is saying, right? Selena could have been telling her story, and Mistress could have been insulting her the entire way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Or insulting the judges, like playing on anything.
Yeah, playing on anything. Like, you know, when she said something about you can't get pregnant twice, like, you know that, Michelle, after all the guys you've had, you know, like,
yeah. Could have definitely done that, and it was just a missed opportunity.
Yep,
that's what it was.
I agree.
And I think you know what's funny is I was like, this would have been a perfect challenge to do earlier, because I would have loved to see how the twins did with this, because they're like chock full of canned bits.
Yeah,
I would have just wonder how well they would have done.
Well, they're so in sync too.
Yeah. Like, we don't even need to practice. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. This is literally what we do all the time.
We've been waiting for this our entire lives.
I know, exactly. And now we have a stage and people are here.
Right.
I loved this look from Mistress. I thought she looked gorgeous.
Same.
And it's like glamour.
It's gorgeous. That's what this look is.
You don't think it? I think it hits the assignment.
Shreds or burned?
Well, it's ripped.
Yeah.
I thought it was burned. It looks like it's burned.
It looks like it's both, right?
It is burnt. It is burnt.
Yeah.
But the burn has created rips.
Yeah, there's like a singeing happening around the edges from obviously heat, but I thought this was gorgeous.
The burn, it has the sear has shredded the dress.
Right. And Joe, I'm not mad at you saying it's gorgeous. Because
it's beautiful, but
there is an opportunity here to say that she missed the mark.
Yeah.
But regardless, wow.
But it's
beautiful.
Wow. Yeah. Like that makeup, the hair, the jewels, it's all of it. Like,
I love the shape of the bustier. Like that's a little different than like a normal one. She's killing it on the runway.
This is high drag. Like this is Houston drag. Like this is what you see in Houston. Take it from someone who lives here. Like this is it.
Well, I think that was it.
That was it.
That's it.
And so then we go into the tops and the bottoms. At this point, really, like if you're not in the top, you are in the bottom.
Yeah.
Because they're not sending anyone back to the workroom anymore.
No, this season. Girls are high, safe, second place, third.
That part. Oh my God! Can they stop that?
It matters. It matters.
Oh my God!
There were only because bottoms, honey.
Lucy's making it matter because it's really important to her.
Actually, didn't Lux start that? Lux started that.
Lux started it in her head. Lucy started it with everyone else. And Marcia did a little bit of that too, because she tried it with Mistress as well. She's like, I really think I was, second. It's like, no, girl.
Yeah.
So Mistress and Selena were safe.
Yes.
Right. And then Lucy and Lux won.
Yes.
Leaving Anitra, Sasha, and Marcia.
And Sasha was safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
from the best joke of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, the balls saved her.
Latrice and
As
Eureka
balls
saved
do
her.
save so many.
And we can say what we would about like this. There could have maybe been some other people in the bottom and the top, but this set us up for the most incredible lip sync.
Oh my god, it was so epic.
It was good.
And we had just been talking about ones we remember, epic lip syncs. This one is gonna be up there for me, if not up at the very top.
She jumped over her. Okay, she leapt over her. Like what? Whenever I hear that song, I will see that happening over and over. Like, yeah.
And also just such a fun song. It's like the kind of song you want these queens to dance to.
Mm-hmm.
And they both brought so much energy, individually did moves that were ridiculously amazing. And you're like, how are they doing that? Right? Like bending over backward. Then Anitra did that like jump into where she went down onto her hands and her like legs went up like a V.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And it's just like, how are you even doing that?
I would have busted my back.
Yeah.
Girl.
Done.
Okay. The whole end of that would have been me still laying there on the ground.
And I saw a video or something of Marsha now, like current time, talking about the episode, and in the moment she didn't realize that Anitra had jumped over her.
Yeah, well, she was backward with her head up.
Yeah,
her head facing the judges. So yeah, she couldn't see that.
So she had no idea.
I love the way Anitra did that and then landed like she was a fucking Power Ranger.
Yeah,
like she just landed. She's like ready to attack. I was like, go ahead, girl.
I don't know. Like on a fast dancey song like this, I don't know who's gonna beat Anitra.
I don't think it's gonna get to that. I think Anitra.
It's not, but she's so good.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, Sasha can knock her out. She's already beaten her before.
So,
she already beat her before.
And it helped that she was wearing like a Power Ranger kind of cat suit, that added to it. I mean, but Marsha did incredible too.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I would have been happy with a double Shantae, but clearly Anitra won that. But if any episode got a double Shantae, that was very, very deserving.
Yes.
But it's funny, while I like Marsha, I think I'm only going to remember her for her lip syncs.
Well, that makes sense because Marsha was all talent. She was all talent, and her looks were always problematic. They were either even when they were good, even when she looked good, it was very plain and basic, and it just wasn't like elevated drag. So that makes sense because I'll remember her talent as well.
Yeah, she's missing a little bit of the C, a lot of the U. But she has the N and the T.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So, Condos and Condones?
Yes. Let's start with Condos. I am going to have my Condo dedicated to Luxe Noir London. Her mindset and the way she just approaches people. And I'm not even going to talk about the next episode because I am just in love with her more and more. I think of all the queens, she's grown on me the most. And the fact that she just keeps excelling. She has just been a fresh queen, and it's all because of her mindset. The way she thinks about herself and the way she backs it up herself is like epic.
Yeah.
I couldn't do any queen, especially all you new queens, coming to the competition like Luxe.
Yeah, and there are people that you watch where you're just like you admire and you're like, I want that kind of confidence. Yeah. I aspire to that kind of confidence, even if it dips into delusion, who cares? It's like she just believes in herself so much, and it's amazing.
And she exudes it, like everything she does. She just exudes like that gay kid that you always wanted to be when you were younger.
Yeah.
We're like, us maybe Couldn't be like,
and shout out to her parents for instilling that in her.
Yep.
Because even though, you know, she sort of talked about not really realizing how much support she had when we saw her watch her family video back an episode or so ago, like that comes from people really loving on you, right? Really allowing a space for you to just be who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, like shout out to her parents and her family too for really instilling that sort of confidence in her, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing about her. It's the thing that we share the most is that, you know, it really is like that's why I keep calling her my daughter, because it's like watching myself on screen. It's very funny to me how we have that thing in common where like my confidence just is all inner and it's all completely delusional, but without it I would not have half of what I have in my life.
Right.
You know, if I didn't just tell myself that I was capable of every single thing that I've accomplished.
Yep, exactly. And that's why it's like infectious. You know, you
Mhm.
want to be around people like Lux or like you. It's like, because that helps you also just be like, oh, like you just do it. You have confidence in yourself. Yeah.
Yep.
OT, what was yours?
My can-do, I'm torn on the shredded episode. My can-do was Ali Wong's additions to everyone else's jokes. When everybody when she was in there in the room with them, when they were rehearsing, that's what I was trying to think. When they were rehearsing, the stuff that she was adding to people's jokes at the end was so quick and so funny. And I'm like, how did you know to say that? And like, how is that so hilarious? And you didn't even know this joke was coming, but you had something ready. So like that quick wit, the amount of funny that Ali Wong is, like I said, I heard of her, but that one episode instantly made me want to know more about her, made me want to watch her movies, made me want to watch her stand up. Like I'm so interested in Ali Wong now. So my can-do was specifically how she was bantering in the rehearsal, but just Ali Wong in general. Like I'm obsessed.
I have a different can-do, but one I had written down was what Joe said earlier. It cracked me up when Selena was like, Free Willy. I died. If we love Selena in those moments, right? That's why we love Selena, where she was so shocked and she was so giddy about that. But I will say, going back to something I mentioned earlier, I think a major can-do is these longer episodes.
Yes.
Because we're just getting we can get into the challenges. We can get into the rehearsals. We have an amazing fun mini challenge where it's just silly, right? Like you get the judges. We haven't gotten any of the judges going back and forth about deliberating. You know, we haven't really had any of that before. So it's just so nice to get back to where there is more content where you can just sit back and relax and it's not going at warp speed. So I think that is my can-do for the week.
Okay.
Well, that leads perfectly into my don't, which is my condone is don't take out the mini challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, this proved how great these queens are. And we see that in the mini challenges. You know, I think we learn a little bit more about the queens and what they're good at. And we get more entertainment as well, because sometimes the maxi challenges are not great, not fun. But oh my gosh, this mini challenge has to go down as probably one of my favorites. I had so much fun, and rewatching it too, I was like, this is just so good. So good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun.
I guess if I have to pick one, because I don't want to keep picking Lucy, but I could every week. But just going back to what we said before, I'll just re-highlight that I think
you could pick Lucy next week.
I could pick her there are things about the debate this week about the baby bump where she was so completely wrong, you know, and everybody knows it but her. I would say, going back to what we were talking about before, I just think Selena made a poor choice to not go by herself. I could see maybe she was just the confidence there, so she's like, oh, it would be fun with Mistress or whatnot. But this was really her kind of big chance to shine, you know, because it's not gonna for her usually happen on the runway. So she's got to take advantage of these challenges where she can.
I'm going to steal your condone and agree and say that is also my condone, because that was her opportunity, right? Because even earlier, I think it was last episode, she noted, you know, she was like, I don't want to be a bottom. She said, but up until this point, I could just say it was the, you know, my runway, because that was all they were really clocking me on. It was, you know, the sewing challenges. She said, but now, you know, they are coming for me on in other ways, but this was your opportunity to really stand on your own and shine. And you took the easy way out and you kind of dimmed your own light, because I think she would have been funnier by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Did we miss anything?
This week we saw Mistress's drag mother, Chevelle Brooks.
I've met her multiple times. I'm actually going to see her on April 16th. She is amazing.
That's amazing.
When I tell you she performs, like, think Kennedy Davenport level dancing in the drag. Chevelle Brooks is all of it. All of it. And
Did you know that was her drag mother?
Yes.
Okay.
And she is always out in the community. I told you I've seen Mistress before. I've never like met her or talked to her, but I've seen her. I've seen her perform. I've seen Chevelle, and like I said, Chevelle is always out in the community, and she is never too good to do anything, even though she is a former like Miss Gay of USA. Like, she's a big deal, right? She is not too good to do any show. She still does the local bars. She's still like, she's one of the few queens that comes out to my actual town, which is Katy, which is a super problematic town when it comes to anything LGBTQ friendly. Yeah. But she comes out here and performs. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is, I love Chevelle Brooks. I love her. I hope that, much like Sasha, we get to see her on the show.
Oh, and then we got to see Selena's family, which was so sweet.
Yeah.
And we found out her mom had stage 4 cancer. This was the first time the whole season that she's mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, your sister is serving.
Yeah.
Okay. She was giving it. She was giving it in Untucked. She was completely untucked. Anything else?
No.
Let's do it to it. Well, thank you as always for joining us on Condone Yourself. We are so glad you come and can't wait to do it again next week. So please be sure to continue watching and liking and commenting, and please also subscribe. We are at Condone Yourself Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So hope to see you again next week, or rather, we hope that you see us again next week, because we haven't gotten to the point where we see you yet. But all that aside, it's always a good time. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at another time.
That was interestingly creepy.
Right. You're watching us. We're not watching you back.
Oh,
or are we?
Oh boy, Joe has to always find a way to get his muscles in.
Me? No. I have no muscles.